indeed. And, well, we're going to have to see how much of a challenge they do face, as we have spawning in the upper right. In the blue, he is for Root Gaming, DisK.
And on the opposite side of the fields of battle, there is a red Terran. From Alpha X, it is Future.
And yeah, so I know I personally have seen DisK play a couple, at the very least one PvT in this tournament already. He smashed Pure Legacy a little bit. I've seen less Future, although I know historically he's been kind of a fan of aggressive builds, kind of like we saw with Pure Legacy a little bit. You know, the 2.5 base plus 1 stem combat shield timing, things like that. I'm not sure if you have any additional insights in the in how he's playing the or approaching the matchup right now.
Yeah, I mean, I always have seen him as one of the Terrans that does like to go into the later game. He is a player that can throw out some cheese here and there. He's not opposed to it. I mean, he is NA after all, right? That is, but I mean, he is. I wouldn't be too surprised if he tries to just go for like Ghost and Liberator later game in this situation. Although he's already being a bit of a conniving little fella, isn't he? Getting an engineering bay block and then stealing a gas as well.
I mean, realistically, how much does stealing a gas really help here? You either steal 2 or 0, right? I mean, DisK, look, he still has the cyber on the way.
It's just being rude at this point.
Yeah, but hey, you know, it's maybe a little extra scouting. It's a little bit annoying as a feature. You know, he just says hi. Like, hi, I'm here. Hi, don't mess up.
Don't you do it now? Don't you do it now? Yeah, it could have been rougher, but DisK nice on the drone or the pro pool and getting that SCV killed off quite quickly. Now has the Zealot as well, clearing out that base. The engineering bay wasn't finished up all that high up, so again, DisK was on top of the scouting, and with his probe management, getting rid of those SCVs.
Yeah, so
nice and early.
So this is going to be a Stargate build here from DisK. He's not going to opt to do the thing where you're like, yeah, my natural has been eBay blocked. I'm going to take my third as the natural and pretend to be a Zerg player. Because honestly, especially in North America, that does not seem like a good play. I mean, we saw Firefly do it against Coffee earlier today, and it really did not work out for him. He went for some, well, Coffee went for some Hellions, and Firefly just kind of died. So I like this a little bit more, right? This is a little bit more of an aggressive opportunity as the Adept is going to find its way on in. And the Marines, okay, there are 5 Marines here. So yeah, we'll not shade on in.
Would have been a bit risky. Would have perhaps cost them a bit more so than just a bit of HP.
Yeah, so we're just kind of the Adept shading around. What we might see here, as this Oracle is just about done, is it finds its way across the map. Actually, well, not now. Not the Adept is going to stay alive, just barely. On like one more shot, it will stay alive. Wait, it's going to shade in, right? Where?
No, it shaded to the left. Yeah, it's just, I'm not sure why he chose to do that. I guess he just wants to keep using this Adept as a scouting tool, right? Just wants to keep shading in, checking in on like, all right, what do you have? Do you already have factory units here? Is it just still Marines that you're building? What's going on? And now the Oracle on the other side comes in and is able to check the rest out and get a couple of SCV kills here, perhaps. So far, doing all right. So, gets 4 of them. Not bad.
Not bad, especially considering it does get on out in the future. Well, for his part, we have a Raven on the way. So A, he's going to be safe from DTs, but B, it means that his push is maybe going to be a little bit more powerful. Now, he will not be able to use this Raven for harassment. Not really, because DisK, well, he's going into Phoenix behind this. He's going into an anti-drop style as he says, look, Future, if you're going to break me, you're going to have to do it straight up. Which, by the way, is something that Future can absolutely do, especially with this build that he's going for. But considering we're most likely going to see charge out... Oh, actually, there's a Robo on the way. I was going to say, you know, the predominant Phoenix style, it feels like, that we've seen, at least that I've seen like the last month or so, has been Phoenix into charge lot, right? It allows you to really be safe against these early aggressive openings. But no, actually, it looks like it's just going to be Phoenix Colossus here. And that does allow DisK to take a little bit later of a third base. And he'll still have, you know, 1-2 Colossus out by the time that any sort of push from Future does come. That being said, I mean, there's a Raven. So as long as Future's allowed to keep his Raven up as he moves across the map, well, Raven's going to have 2 disables, especially if it doesn't use its energy before then. And then, well, the classes don't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, it is a big if, though, right? I mean, there's 4 Phoenix out on the map. They're already patrolling here. They may already even jump on that Raven right now. As soon as those Marines just get out of position just slightly. So far, we're seeing good micro and control from both these players, though. Neither of them needlessly sacrificing units.
Yep, and well, we see Future here. He's just focusing on making sure that his army is not part of an Edgar Allan Poe poem, right? You know, we want the Raven to Quoth, not nevermore. As well, we have Immortals on the way, and Extend Thermal Lance as well. DisK wanting to make sure that he can actually deal with his ground army of Future before he goes into these. Yeah, they're higher DPS, but they're a lot more fragile, much more glass cannon type units. And I don't disagree with that. I do think Immortals are good, but how many? We only have 2 Marauders at a time. So it's not like this is a super Marauder heavy force level like we've seen occasionally, but I do like this, though. The Phoenix, they're just going to sit here on top of the production, knock down as much as they can as Future's getting ready to move across the map here. The Adept will go down to the very least. And notice here, Future, he's just doing everything he can to guard that Raven, because, of course, Ravens move faster than unstimmed bio. So you got to be very careful about how that is moving.
See, overall, what DisK really has. I mean, he still has the Oracle, 1 Immortal here, but the rest of it, it's not that impressive. It's really feeling like, oh, nice catch on that Raven. That's definitely a good start.
Yeah.
Let's see how those force fields will follow up here. It's going to be important whether or not he splits up this army and actually gets a good fight going with just a small portion of this force, or at least delay it significantly enough so he has that Colossus to play with.
Yep. Unfortunately, Future's army, it was part of a poem. Hopefully, it's a one that's flattering, but for the moment, again, the Raven goes down, and that means that Future realistically cannot push on into this anymore. We have 1 Colossus already on the field, a second one's on the way, Extended Thermal Lance just about done. And with these Phoenix in the sky, well, Future, he's got to go back. He's got to take his 3rd base. Now, he is taking it on location, which I do like, right? That does allow him to maybe make up for a little bit of a disadvantage here, but again, he wants to get something done with this army. And with how much delay DisK has already put on the map, well, DisK is making that rather difficult indeed, as we do have the Phoenix continuing to get economic damage on the other side of the map.
Quite a lot of SCV kills. Now flying back. May feel like he needs to have everything at home in order to defeat this Terran ensemble that Future is bringing to the front right now. Probes trying to evacuate the force fields. Yeah, actually, all getting destroyed there before the force fields land. Phoenix now as well joining in. Is this going to be enough? I think Future just doesn't really have the stuff, doesn't have the guns to break through here. And there it is. GG is called right afterwards. I mean, those Phoenix definitely did quite a bit of damage back at home, and yeah, Future couldn't do the same, couldn't return the favor across the map, losing his army as well. And tapping out after a well-fought battle there by DisK.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, Future, when he moved into the 3rd base, he took a lot of Colossus shots as he stemmed from the natural to the 3rd base. The force fields did a really good job of that one. And then he's sitting here, he's fighting the army. He goes for the fight on the army instead of just like stimming and running and trying to knock the base down. But like, I don't know, a quarter of his army was sitting there knocking down pylons, attacking the base, not actually dealing with DisK's army. And with that being the case, well, when DisK has all of his army fighting only, 2/3, 3/4 of your army, that doesn't feel all that great. Now, what also doesn't feel great is I think I saw something like 4-to-1 odds on the match predictions they're betting on Future in Game 1. So some people in chat are very happy indeed, and I think most people are pretty unhappy. But now, DisK, once again, he took game number 1.
Yeah.
Game number 2, though.
Yeah, you would expect Future to kind of be the favorite overall, right? Future is one of these names in NA that you think could go up in those kind of the cabinets where we put those top 3, right? But from before, Scarlet, Neeb, Estrella, right now, he's kind of knocking on their door right now, but not quite there yet.
Yeah, but game number 2 will be on Blackburn. That's a much more Terran favored map. Juggernaut, it's a pretty Protoss favored one, so we're gonna have to see whether Future can use the map advantage and turn it into an equalized series. This game number 2 is all ready to go. And here we are in the bottom left, in the blue from Canada. The Root Gaming Protoss player. Up 1-0. He is DisK.
His opponent in the red colors. He is spawning in the bottom right side a Alpha X Terran named Future.
He is, in fact, the future of Terran. Well, he wants to have a future in this series.
Twitter handle, right?
Yes, I believe it is.
Yeah.
But again, if he wants to have a future in this series, he's got to win this game.
It would be preferable, I believe.
I mean, I don't know how he goes to game 3 if he doesn't win game number 2. That
It's yeah. We've not seen it happen yet. Maybe Future will figure it out. Maybe he has like a special build order that will get him there, but so far no success has been made in that remark.
Yeah, he just dances his units in a specific pattern that causes mass hypnosis and convinces us that we need to go to game 3 regardless. And it's just winner take all. Whoever wins game 3, even if he doesn't win game 2. Mass delusions here.
Input the right buttons and you'll win any situation.
If I do that, does that mean I can also download more RAM?
I'm sure you can. Yeah, I don't think there's any limitations to this idea of ours.
Fantastic. That'll I got 32 gigs, but 64 sounds nice. Yeah, let's download it, right?
Yeah, just get some more.
Yeah, sounds just about right. That's how computers work. Actually, you know what's pretty cool? I've seen.
Just believe hard enough, and it will have more RAM.
Yeah.
If you trust in the heart of your PC.
Exactly. Now, actually, what's pretty cool, by the way, I've seen some stuff coming out about this. The next generation RAM may just be SSDs, right? Maybe a software implementation, so you could get like a terabyte of RAM for, you know, $200 or whatever, just buy a nice SSD. And then the days of having special RAM is just going to be gone, which is a pretty cool idea.
It would be cool. It would be. I'm not sure if I would ever be able to use it to full extent of its capabilities, but
Because then you have a web browser, right?
I do.
Is it Chrome?
Yes.
Then you will be able to use as much RAM as you can feed it.
Oh no! Wait! I switched.
Oh, okay. For shame. But anyway,
it's the other one.
It's Firefox or Edge or whatever. Anyway, Future here.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, he will be able to catch a couple of depths here on the middle of the map. And hey, you know what? That is not something you see all that often. Those Marines sitting there, well, that's a good move, right? That is weird, that is atypical, and it will allow him to knock down any sort of pressure and scouting that DisK may have been looking for. So, Future, though, he's not doing anything weird behind this. He's just going for a 1-1-1.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. It will be a Widowmine drop here, and nice denial on that probe scout. Will not figure it out just quite yet. And this going for the blink upgrade though, so I mean he's gonna have the tools required to kind of deal with this.
Now, what I gotta say,
Willy.
Yeah, I'm really surprised here that we're seeing blink as an opener here from DisK. I mean, he showed a willingness to go Stargate in game number 1, but I feel like if there's a map you go Stargate on, even with the slow zones, I feel like it is this one, because again, even with those slow zones, the Terran is still going to look to get damage done. They're still looking to get those drops in. And you know what? By the time a Widowmine drop finds its way across the map, well, you already have 3 Phoenix. So you lift them, you kill them, the medevac goes down, and it's just a wonderful situation to be in. Now, of course, DisK doesn't know this is a Widowmine drop, not yet. But I feel like, man, if there's a map you go any sort of early drop build on, it's Blackburn.
Yeah, that distance just looks so tempting, doesn't it? Having those 2 main bases so close to each other on that mini-map. Anyway, so far that is not enough for Future to succeed here with this medevac. We'll make a return journey. DisK not aware of the overall return.
And actually, this Widowmine's just going to get targeted down, so that was...
Yeah, didn't burrow quickly enough, did it?
Well, yeah, no, it really, but more just like there were enough stalkers there. But now we have the second Widowmine here. And I like this for now, but it's just going to go down too. So that was, yes, a lot of mining time, but 0 probes for 2 Widowmines. Goes in. When was the last time you saw not a single unit die to a Widowmine drop?
Well, if somebody has Blink Stalkers or Phoenix, sometimes. It is supposed to be the counter, right?
Yeah, but certainly not a Blink Stalker build. What a really good job there from DisK, making sure that he had enough. And now it's his turn to get aggressive here on the map. Do we have a Warp Prism? I don't believe we do. So it's just 7 Stalkers here. This is pressure more than anything else. Just looking to defend that third base. As look, he gets charged up. We're going to have Colossus up. Just making sure that Future doesn't do anything a little bit too scary here. As again, Future, he wants to go for that 2.5 base timing. +1 stim combat shields are on the way. I'm sorry. +1's not on the way. +1 is rather delayed, so he actually just may choose to expand off this, as his push is going to be far less powerful than it was the previous game.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, so far Future, I mean, still not seeing that third. It will, you're saying that Future will just push? Is that what you...
I mean,
sorry.
Everything in this build that Future is gone for...
That is what it's looking like, right?
Yeah, is the 2.5 base push, right? You move out right around now. Your +1 times out with your combat shield. Stim's already done. You salvage the bunker, as we see right here. You try to get some damage done. But there's no...
I was kind of looking at that charge upgrade as well coming in right now. There's not that many gateways, but I thought that could start to be some aggression there as well. So far, DisK at the front door. We'll see this move out. That's going to trigger the alarms. Please stop making probes and just keep making army units alarm.
Yeah, pretty much. A charge is done in about 20 seconds, right? So that's going to be about like a 10-second window here where combat shields are done, but charge is not. But the Colossus is already out here. We don't have anything that can really disable this. Again, extended thermal lance is not ready yet, but it will be soon. Charge is done in 10 seconds. I really don't see this push from Future really getting all that much done. I mean, I like this tank positioning here around the doodad, makes it a lot harder to get on top of. But once we get like 1 or 2 warp-ins of charge slots, especially once we have that second Colossus, well, I'm not exactly sure what Future's supposed to do here. Is now, oh, he's going to see it too. Medevac will not go down. Now we have the fight here on the left-hand side, trying to get something done, but there's a Colossus. There are charge slots. Those force fields are going to be incredible. And again, DisK, he's just sitting here. He's staying defensive. He says, yeah, you can try to break me all you want. I have enough.
I mean, that's right, though. He can say that because it's pretty much true for the time being, especially with all those shield batteries just buffering this force. I like that DisK is not really, just never engaging those siege tanks. Vikings now might make it a bit rougher for DisK to sit in this position.
But I mean, it's only,
like
only 2 Vikings for 2 Colossus. Tanks are good against Colossus
you
too,
can
but
poke a little.
Yeah.
There's 2 more Vikings coming. We all know there is.
How many?
Yeah. Right?
Okay, so
there?
4 Vikings. That's enough for 1 Colossus, not the second. And I mean, again, look, DisK has had a better economy for the majority of this game, even as he has kind of cut probes a little bit to make this hold happen. But we're seeing a lot more Zealots get warped on in. The army supplies are getting a lot closer here, and certainly percentage-wise getting a lot closer. Yeah, 10 army supply lead is a lot when you get 40 versus 50. It's not quite as big when it's 90 versus 80, right? Just in terms of scale of bulk here. One Viking will go on down. And oh, here, look at the flanking disruptor here. It won't get anything done, though.
So it's a good attempt. Always nice to see those disruptors suddenly coming in from a different area where the Terran may not expect it. Of course, we have our observer camera that's nice and far out. Here we are. The engagement of DisK is jumping forwards on top of those siege tanks. It looks like there's enough Zealots here. And Future, his entire army in shambles, burning to the ground right now on a quick retreat, trying to make his way back to some sense of safety. But there may not be enough really to halt the onslaught that is going to be commencing right now. Zealots just keep charging in. The Stalker's a bit on a detour there, having a look at inspecting the orbital, seeing if everything is up to code.
I think after the Stalkers and Sentries and Colossus and everything are done with that, yeah, the building will not be up to code. Future's game is not up to code. We have no mass hallucinations here.